YouTube, my name is Rachel Mayo. Welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. I'm going to be discussing the effects of Saturn retrograde according to the degree and the aspects it's making while it's in its retrograde motion. Saturn retrograde begins on May 23rd and it's going to begin at 13 degrees of Aquarius. So if I have to narrow this transit down to a period, the period that's important for you to go back to and look over, when Saturn was around 6 degrees. Saturn was around 6 degrees, I believe, around the 14th of February. So whatever happened around that time and until this time when Saturn is at 13 degrees is the area that's highlighted. So try and remember what was going on in your life around February 14, around Valentine's Day. You're going to have to revise and re-look over and revisit that situation. Be it if you started a relationship, you started a job, a new friendship, you joined a group, you're going to have to re-evaluate that situation. This is what Saturn retrograde is asking you to look at, because by the time he starts moving forward from 6 degrees of Aquarius, you will be able and capable to make a long-lasting decision regarding that situation, whatever it may have been, because Saturn is retrograding in different areas for every natal birth chart. This is why it's important for you to get your own personal reading. If you don't understand what's really going on in your chart, you can book a reading at rachel-mayo.com. I'm waiting for you. The retrograde ends at 6 degrees of Aquarius on the 10th of October. The best way for you to use this information is by paying attention to the degrees that I mentioned and the dates. So if you don't have your own natal birth chart available, I suggest you go to astro.com to get your free natal birth chart. This way you'll be able to follow along. Find the Aquarius house in your chart and also find those degrees. Look to see if you have any planet on the degrees I'm going to mention. Planet is going to be activated during this retrograde of Saturn. Saturn retrograde periods are nothing to be afraid of. Saturn retrogrades every year for about 4 months. So Saturn retrograde is generally a time of karmic rebalancing. The best way to describe Saturn retrograde periods is more like you've been attending college and you've just finished your semester and you sat for the final exam. And now your professor is giving you a final grade. Of course, your professor is going to take time to reevaluate your performance and grade your paper. So essentially, Saturn retrograde is looking at your previous behavior. If you were good, you get a passing grade. If you were good and you put in hard work, Saturn requires hard work and dedication, you are going to get a good grade. But if you were lazy and didn't put in any work, Saturn is going to give you a failing grade. So this is what he's doing. He's going over your past behavior, and this is the point where you get your rewards or your punishment, or perhaps a chance to redo things, because at the end of the retrograde transit, Saturn is going to go forward and he's going to pass through those degrees again. So when a planet changes direction, it's always important to see the degree of the change in direction, and the degree that's highlighted at this time is 13 degrees of Aquarius, and the transiting node is at about 10 degrees of Gemini. So essentially Saturn is forming a trine to the north node. So whatever we decide to do now, moving forward, Saturn is supporting us. Look at the chart, you're going to see that there's a stellium in the sign of Gemini. Venus and the moon are also transiting at the time when Saturn is moving retrograde. This means that Saturn is supporting the decisions that we make about love and money, because Venus rules the relationships, the romantic relationships and partnerships in our life. Mercury rules over business, our immediate environment. Saturn is going to help us move forward in those areas. This stellium and conjunction in Gemini of Mercury, Venus, and the North Node, trine Saturn, means that whatever rewards or punishments we get in this area are going to be karmic and fated. Whatever happens at this time was written somewhere that it's going to happen, and it's going to push you forward to your future. So accept your reward responsibly or your punishment, whichever you deserve. The other strong influence of this retrograde of Saturn is that it's going to square Uranus sometime in June. This has been an ongoing aspect for the year of 2021. This aspect tends to bring unexpected and unwanted changes, and it makes it harder for us to make the changes that we want. But all the other supporting aspects to the North Node, Venus and Mercury are going to make things a little bit easier for us to move forward towards our North Node. The transits we're going to be having in May and June are very intense. If you're confused about anything or you don't understand how it's going to affect your natal birth chart, feel free to drop me a question in the description area. I always answer questions promptly. And if you enjoy this content, please hit like and subscribe. Also, please share my videos on your social media. Share my videos with your friends and family. You just never know who needs to hear this message. Also, remember to ring the bell icon so that you may be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you. So essentially, at the time of this retrograde, Saturn is involved in a grand trine. This is going to help us bring resolutions or solutions to the problems that the Saturn and Uranus square may present in our lives at this time. So we have some real grounded help here. Moon trine Saturn is going to help you have emotional balance and determination to reach your long-term goals. So keep in mind that Saturn rules over our authority figures, the government, and it may have something to do with our job. And the moon usually rules over the people. So we may have to cooperate with our authority figures in our life. We may have to get help from them. Venus is also trine Saturn at this time. So the retrograde motion could bring somebody in your life who's going to be committed to you, faithful and loyal. This could be the love of your life. There could be a major age difference between you and this person, either 7 years, 14 years, and perhaps for some people even 29 years, because those are the Saturn years. So essentially, this person could be from a different age group. This relationship could bring closer bonding and stability in your life. This is a person who is going to be willing to work through whatever challenges or future problems that you may face in your relationship. This is the type of person who's going to stick with you through thick and thin. The person will be there for the long run. This is very vital for you if you have Saturn transiting your 7th house. So that is if you are a Leo ascendant, or if you have Saturn sitting in the 7th house in your natal birth chart. And also Cancer ascendants could get benefit from this transit because Capricorn rules their descendant, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So a lot of Saturnian people could get a lot of benefits from this retrograde transit of Saturn. So just to recap, Saturn went retrograde on the 23rd of May at 13 degrees of Aquarius, and he's going to retrograde all the way back to 6 degrees of Aquarius. So check to see if you have anything at those points. Saturn is going to go direct on October 10 at 6 degrees of Aquarius. Another important date is August 22nd, 2020. Saturn forms a grand air trine connecting with Venus in Libra and the North Node of Destiny in Gemini. This is a great day to work on your romantic relationship, on your marriage or your business partnership. It's a great day to get married or make plans for the future. Since Saturn does not move as quickly as Venus, the Sun, Mercury, or the Moon, its effects are felt more intensely when it aspects other planets. So if Saturn stations on a planet, you're going to feel this energy for a few months to come. You're going to feel it when it's passing over that planet and when it's coming back over that planet. So essentially, you're going to feel this energy, you're going to feel this energy through at least 3 times. You may want to mark your calendar for June 14. This is when a #T square in the cosmos forms between the Leo moon, Saturn, and Uranus. This is going to be a very serious day. Mark this on your calendar, June 14. You may face major emotional challenges on this day. And on June 30th, you want to stay on top of your responsibilities because there will be an opposition between Mars and Saturn. And these are both malefic planets. And remember, we still have the ongoing square between Saturn and Uranus. Adding Mars to this square is just going to probably exaggerate the square and throw obstacles in your way. So mark this date. On July 6th, Saturn is going to oppose Venus. This is not a good opposition for relationships or any type of agreements. Could bring out controlling behaviors from our partners. Then on August 1st and 2nd, Saturn forms an opposition to the Sun and Mercury, who are conjunct in the sign of Leo. Avoid speeding, lying, or sketchy behavior on this day because you will very likely get caught or get a ticket. So in summary, Saturn is here to bring karmic rewards. Karmic rewards that have to do with love and money and communication. Saturn retrograde is very likely to bring back a past life lover because it's aspecting Venus and Mercury. And the time period we have to go back to and re-examine what was happening in our life at that time. It starts around February 14 because that's the time when Saturn was at around 6 degrees. So whatever was happening in your life at this point is up for revision. The transits we're going to be having in May and June are very intense. If you're confused about anything or you don't understand how it's going to affect your natal birth chart, feel free to drop me a question in the description area. I always answer questions promptly. And if you enjoy this content, please hit like and subscribe. Also, please share my videos on your social media. Share my videos with your friends and family. You just never know who needs to hear this message. Also, remember to ring the bell icon so that you may be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you.